Hello, and welcome back to WFRYE TV. Today I have with me Mr. Tarby Bryant. Mr. Bryant is the CEO of Sweetwater Capital out of Santa Fe, New Mexico. He seeks to provide finance and capital for entrepreneurs. Hi, Mr. Bryant. How are
Hello,
you?
Carrie. How are you?
Great. So the first question I have for you is, what are your beginnings? And just can you kind of tell us exactly who Tarby Bryant is?
Well, I grew up in Atlanta, so this is my hometown. I live in Santa Fe now by choice. Moved out there in '91, and while I was here in Atlanta, Carrie, I was the head of the Atlanta Economic Development Corporation and realized that a lot of young companies needed money. We started a MESBIC, a Minority Enterprises Small Business Investment Corporation, while I was here. I moved out to New Mexico, and I realized that a lot of the young entrepreneurs couldn't access seed and early stage capital. And so I started a process called the Gathering of Angels in Santa Fe, and do my meetings there once a month, and also here now in Atlanta once a month. So I'm a teacher. I teach corporate finance. I went to Georgia State University while I was here and got a master's. And so I teach entrepreneurs how to raise money. And you sat in this afternoon earlier on the practice session. So you see what we do, and it's a wonderful process for the presenting companies that are looking for seed and early stage capital, and for the angel investors who are looking to get on the train early and hopefully help the young companies with their capital needs.
Neato. Okay, so in my class, we talked a lot about the different types of lending. My question to you is, what are your insights on lending versus lending?
Well, obviously, the debt finance component is the cheapest kind of finance. And if you can borrow it from a bank or even a private investor, it's a lot cheaper than basically equity capital. Selling stock in a company or an LLC is an expensive process, and the returns that an investor demands are much higher than bank finance. That say might be prime plus 3, which would be 6.25% today, versus an angel investor or venture capital person or even an investment banker that might look for a 40 to 50% return on their money per year as an internal rate of return. So it's a lot cheaper to do debt finance. One of our presenters tonight actually is doing a nightclub in Miami, and they are basically offering a debt instrument, and even at 20%.
20%.
But that's a lot less expensive than a typical equity offering that might be in the 35 to 40, sometimes even 50% return.
And see, that's what everyone in my class, where we have that fear of giving up that ownership, giving up that 20%.
You know, sometimes you want to give up an ownership position if you can't borrow the money from a bank or an institution, and the provider of the capital, whether it's debt or equity capital, basically would want to have an equity position. Sometimes you have to give that up.
Okay. Another question I have are, when you're looking at these business plans and these presentations and you're seeking these entrepreneurs, what exactly are you looking for? Like, what attributes are important for considering investing in that company when they do their presentations?
Well, I think they have to be unique, they have to be novel, they have to offer an attractive investment package to an investor. They have to have a business plan. Ideally, part of that is an executive summary. And I put them through a pretty rigorous process to make sure that I understand their business model, how they make money. And if they can't make money, in my judgment, they don't need to be presenting because they can't really offer anything.
Right.
And then they have to have a clear and defined exit strategy, how the investor gets his or her money back from making an investment, taking the risk at an early stage, and then hopefully getting their money back with a substantial return.
Okay. Have you yourself ever invested as an angel investor?
I've been doing it for 40 years.
Neato. And my question to you on that is, how much do you get involved with it?
You know, it all depends. If they're close at home, and I did it when I was here in Atlanta, the answer is, you know, if you if you see something you like and they're in Los Angeles, it really doesn't matter. You can't obviously be there all the time. If they're here in Atlanta, I would visit them if I made an investment. I like the company, I like the CEO, I like the team, I like the exit strategy. The valuation is fair and reasonable. I would probably see them once a month when I come back here.
Oh, okay. And with that, do you require a lot of financial performance updates, like monthly,
Yeah, I think
quarterly?
investors deserve to be kept posted on what's going on, and being on QuickBooks, which is what most of the entrepreneurs are on, I like to see those. I like to review them, and I like to have a 1 or 2 page summary from the CEO, at least quarterly, preferably once a month, so I know that if I can spot something and make a contribution, I will.
Cool. Okay, so what sort of shortcomings have you seen with company owners that you have invested with, or maybe even recent employees that you've hired? Do they lack a proper or financial education or analytical thinking or skills? Because we're taking a class now where they're trying to teach us how to make our money work for us. And as employees, sometimes if you hire someone, do you see that they're having a lack of that financial education coming out of college, or?
Sure, and I didn't have the financial background. I went to a very liberal arts college in North Carolina called Davidson, and went through the Army after that in Vietnam, and came back and realized that my financial skill set was very limited. I had good liberal arts skills, and